What if I told you that someone went from being a broke, struggling artist, drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, to owning a new condo, earning 7 figures, and building a following of over 100,000 people, all in just a couple of years? And the craziest part, they didn't use complicated techniques, rituals, or endless affirmations. They just believed. Stay with me because this story might completely change the way you see your own life. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're here, it's not by accident. You're here because something inside you is ready to change, ready to grow, and ready to step into the life you truly deserve. A little over 2 years ago, this person came looking for guidance, just like many of you. They were lost, stuck, and searching for answers. Back then, life looked completely different. They were in debt, barely getting by, stuck in a tiny apartment, and no one was paying attention to their artwork. It felt like being invisible, like no matter how much effort they put in, nothing worked. A true starving artist, both financially and emotionally. Fast forward to today, everything has changed. This year alone, they've sold more art than they ever imagined possible. Their income didn't just grow, it exploded to 40 times what it used to be. They bought a brand new condo. And they built a powerful online presence with over 100,000 followers who now value and appreciate their work. So what changed? They credit it all to the law of attraction, but not in the way most people think. There were no long scripting routines, no writing the same sentence 1,000 times, no chanting affirmations for hours. None of that. The foundation of everything was one simple thing. They believed it would happen, no matter what. And from that belief, their actions started to shift. One of the first things they did was something that sounds completely backwards. They started spending money. Now think about that for a second. When you're in debt and barely making ends meet, your instinct is to hold on tightly to every single rupee. But that constant scarcity thinking only reinforces the identity of being broke. So instead, they made a decision. They would spend, but within reason. Not recklessly, not irresponsibly, but intentionally. And more importantly, they believed that whatever they spent would come back to them multiplied. That shift alone started breaking the poor mindset they had been stuck in for so long. And over time, it worked. The money did come back, and it came back in ways they couldn't have predicted. Then they focused on something even more powerful. They started becoming the version of themselves who already had the life they wanted. Before, they didn't take care of themselves. They felt miserable and it showed. But instead of waiting to feel successful, they decided to embody it first. They got a haircut. They upgraded how they dressed, not with expensive brands, but with intention. They chose clothes that made them feel confident, powerful, and valuable. And something interesting happened. The people around them started noticing. They began receiving comments like, "You actually look like a CEO now," and "You're already dressing like an eccentric millionaire." Those reflections from others were simply mirroring the internal shift that had already begun. But the biggest shift of all was trust. Most people think success comes from taking massive risks. But in this case, it wasn't about risk, it was about certainty. A deep, unshakable knowing that everything would work out in their favor. When they decided to buy their condo, they only had enough for the down payment. That's it. No huge safety net, no guaranteed stability, just belief. From the outside, it looked risky, but from the inside, it felt certain. And month after month, they were able to pay their mortgage without struggle. Opportunities showed up. Income increased. Things aligned. Not by chance, but because their mindset, actions, and belief system were all working together. This story isn't just about success. It's about identity. It's about who you decide to be before the results show up. Now here's what you need to take away from this. Stop forcing it. You don't need to write something 100 times to make it real. You don't need to follow complicated routines to earn your desires. The more you try to force something, the more resistance you create. Instead, focus on belief. A calm, steady belief that what you want is already on its way. Shift your mindset around money and abundance. If you constantly act from fear and lack, you'll stay in that cycle. But when you start acting with trust, even in small ways, you begin to rewire how you experience reality. Become the version of yourself who already has what you want. Not someday, not in the future. Now, the way you carry yourself, the way you think, the way you show up, it all matters. Trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense, even when things feel uncertain. Because sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from decisions that logic alone can't justify. Wish well for others. Don't compare, don't compete. Just genuinely want good things for people. That energy always comes back. And most importantly, live in gratitude. Be grateful for where you were because it shaped you. Be grateful for where you are because it's part of your journey. And be grateful for where you're going because it's already unfolding. This isn't just their story. It can be yours too. If this shifted something inside you, don't ignore it. That feeling, that spark, that's your sign. Make sure you subscribe, because on this channel, we don't just talk about dreams, we turn them into reality. And remember, the life you want isn't far away, it's waiting for you to believe you deserve it.